Okay, hi, good night. I don't know, it's 8:40. My name is Jackie Beatrice, now known as Blakely. I'm grad at the University of Denver, and I'm a Master of Science in Marketing. What's the title of the session I attended? Explore Space and Poetry with NASA and Poet Laureate Ada Limón. First, I would like to start by saying I didn't know what a poet laureate was. And I actually think kind of a lot of people probably don't know what a poet laureate is or does, but a poet laureate is a poet officially appointed by the government and conferring institution typically expected to compose poems for special events and occasions. Who knew? Okay. She made something pretty cool though for this occasion. So the speakers in this, it was Ada Limón and Lori Glaze. So like I said, Ada is the poet laureate and Lori is the director of NASA's Planetary Space Division. Super cool. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't plan on going to this session. I thought great, cool space and poems. I don't think I've read a book in a really long time unless it was assigned for school. So I really wasn't gonna go. But I left this feeling so inspired. And I think that I know that we're supposed to talk about the whole marketing aspect, but to be honest, I think I'm gonna reflect a little bit about this experience because this set the tone for, I think, what you have been telling us for so long that, I just got real shaky with the camera, that this is one of those experiences that you kind of just have to go into with an open mind, and what you don't know is where you'll kind of learn the most, and which sounds, again, silly, but I had all of these sessions on my map that are things that I'm kind of comfortable with. And this was one that I had no expectations going into, and that I walked out being like, yeah, this is so cool. So I also really loved how Ada talked a lot about the link of poetry to nature and humanity and connectedness, and this whole sense of poetry is where you can get uncomfortable and kind of almost contain that uncomfortableness or uncomfortability. I don't know. I loved that. I've never thought of it that way. And then to combine that with what NASA is doing, and specifically on their Europa Clipper mission, I had chills. I mean, I quite legitimately wrote in here, effing awesome, chills. I wrote out effing, but I'll keep it clean. I just think there's also people, so I work for an environmental nonprofit, and it's called the Wild Foundation. I do contract work for them, but I also host a podcast for them. And a lot of the time we talk about how science is really not going to move people to act, and I firmly believe that, but I also think that this specific talk really opened my eyes to the crossover between science and exploration and that unknowing, and how that also applies to so much in creativity and art. And I thought that was just an awesome thing to take into the marketing field, because that's exactly where my interests intersect. And I never thought of it that way. There were so many, one of them said science is like art, discovery, and constant discovery and uncovering. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't know, I think it's really cool that they have this crossover, especially at a place like NASA, where I'm like, wow, those people are hardcore science, And the fact that they even make room for art in things that they're putting up into space, and the power of words is so incredible. Don't even get me started on the whole actual poem. It gave me chills. It brought me to tears. I think Ada did an incredible job of kind of like what she was saying, of invoking that we, like who is the we, but in this sense, because she's like, you know, in so many times, or at many times, you can say we, but who is that? And what did she say? She said she's usually distrustful of the general we, because who is the we? But for this specific poem, where she's talking about all of planet Earth, everyone on it, every species, everything, every living thing, that is we. And I thought that was, I mean, that hit me to my core. Like, if that doesn't make you feel connected, because we're this tiny speck in the universe, I don't know what else does. I mean, I feel like I'm tearing up now. But again, from a marketing perspective, I think it just really was the perfect session to begin this whole experience on, because it almost made me zoom out to then be like, wow, okay, here we go, buckle up. It was amazing.